There you go. Now we're in order. Good Wednesday to you. Thanks for joining me, by the way. My name's Al Gavada. I appreciate you being here, whether it's live or on a replay. And if you can share it, I'd really appreciate the share. And once I post it on my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe it on there. That'll help spread the message, get the word out, and get this message out to people who need to hear it, right? Today's name of our live is I feel like giving up. It's too hard. You ever felt that way? You ever felt like giving up? It's like everything I do. It's like I'm doing my best. I'm following what needs to be followed. I don't know what's going on. I feel like giving up. I was looking for inspiration and information on what to do when you feel like that. I went to success.com, found an article by Sonia Thompson that I'm going to be sharing right now on the comments section. It says ways to persist when everything in you wants to give up. Ways to persist when everything in you wants to give up. You're faced with something, you feel that dark cloud, you know? Article starts like this. Have you ever felt like your lungs were going to explode? It says that's what I felt. That's what it felt like during my hike up Machu Picchu. How awesome is that, right? The ancient city sits more than 2,400 meters above sea level, and my group eagerly started climbing just after 5 a.m. I ended up alone, behind the group. With more than 1,100 meters left to go, I never imagined the journey would be so difficult, evidenced by the shoes I chose to wear. I worked out regularly, but that didn't prepare me for the altitude. I couldn't seem to get enough air. I wanted to give up. My body was begging me to stop. My weary mind wanted to follow suit, but I persisted, and I made it to the top, lungs and heart intact. And she's talking about a physical experience, right? Where she was reaching, I guess, the limitations of what she thought she was going to be able to physically be able to accomplish. But what about when you are mentally, spiritually, emotionally reaching that end? When you feel like no matter what you're doing, whether it's an undertaking, a goal, a relationship, something you're involved with, you're pouring your heart and soul into it. You're doing your best you can. You're trying to check off all the boxes, and you just can't. You're getting to the point where you know what? I'm going to throw in the towel. I'm just going to give up. It's not worth it. And there's wisdom in realizing when it's a good time to stop doing something, right? But there's also strength, and it takes courage to realize that sometimes that's not always the case. You have to get through what you're going through right now to get to where you need to get to go. It says here are the 7 things that helped me keep going that day, the article says. When everything in me wanted to quit. If you find yourself in a situation where you want to give up, these lessons can help you too. Here we go. Number 1, ignore everyone else. In the beginning of the climb, I only saw the people passing me, right? Every time I saw someone hiking with ease, I felt bad about myself. But when I stopped worrying and stopped comparing everyone else's journey to my own, I began to focus on my own mission and how I was going to achieve it. As you work towards your dream, it can be easy to get distracted when you see others achieving their goals easier, faster, better than you. It can make you feel inadequate and unsatisfied with your own progress. But when it comes to conquering a goal, what's happening with others is irrelevant when it detracts from your ability to move forward. Actually, that's when it becomes relevant, right? When it starts detracting you, when it starts distracting you. When tackling a difficult task, you need every ounce of energy you can muster. Make sure to channel it into a place that will propel you forward. So, persisting when everything in you wants to quit. Number 1, ignore everyone else. Number 2, become your own biggest supporter. When I started the hike, I wasn't alone, but within 10 minutes, I was behind and alone. At first, I was frustrated. My companions abandoned me in my time of need. But then I realized my burden wasn't theirs to bear. Although it can be energizing to have others around to motivate and support you, having them there is a luxury, not a requirement. That lesson allowed me to turn inward and find in myself the strength and the determination to keep going. I began to encourage and high five myself with every step. Sometimes on the road to success, you have to walk alone. If you find yourself in that position, find a way to give yourself what you need to continue. Just again today, I heard that quote from Elon Musk when they asked him, what kind of word of encouragement would you give to an entrepreneur? He says, if you need a word of encouragement, don't become an entrepreneur, right? Don't need encouragement. You need to have that from within. The entrepreneur is going to do it regardless, right? That's why number two is become your own biggest supporter. And when it said right there, it said, that lesson allowed me to turn inward and find in myself the strength and determination to keep going. The core of strength I talk about. We all, each and every one of us, have a core of strength that we are built around. We're built upon. Within us is a core of strength. We can choose to try and tamp down that core of strength so we don't need it, and we'll always be dependent on somebody else, and dependent on somebody else's words or encouragement, or we can just pile upon it anxieties and fears and, what ifs and like, mounds of wet cloth and dull that core of strength. Or we can fortify it with our own belief, our own strength, our own understanding, our own experiences, our own skills, knowledge learned, strengthen it, make it bigger so we can tap into that core of strength at any given time and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward by tapping into that core of strength. That's what that core of strength is there for. Number three, stop and appreciate the little things. It says, I began the hike before the sun was up. As I continued to climb, it started to peak around the mountain, giving glimpses of the beauty all around me. It was magical. During the catch my breath breaks, I marveled at the privilege of seeing nature in all her beauty. In those moments, I gave no thought to my struggle. I was too busy being grateful for being there on a hike going up to Machu Picchu. It says, it can be easy to focus all your energy on reaching your ultimate goal, but if the only thing you can see is your end destination, you'll miss the beauty of the journey along the way. Beautiful, beautiful words, beautiful words. Don't miss the beauty of the journey along the way. The new experiences and welcome surprises provide much needed fuel to keep going. Fuel during your journey. Appreciation of the experiences and the lessons you are learning on your journey. Number three, stop and appreciate the little things on the ways to persist when everything in you wants to quit. Number four, focus on the next step. It discouraged me to think how far away I was from the top. So I reframed my goal into mini milestones that made the next steps more manageable. Just take one more step, I thought. Okay, now just get over to those stones. All right, now once you get to that bench, you can stop and rest for a few minutes. When your goal seems too big, it can feel impossible, which opens the door for resistance to creep in. I will add, it will also have you looking for doors, like chicken doors, like when you go on theme park rides, to exit, to leave, to quit. By breaking your target into bite-sized pieces, you can keep yourself in motion and build momentum. Small goals, small steps, long vision. Small steps, long vision. Small steps, keep moving forward, long vision. The goal is in mind. Focus on the next step, number four. Number five, throw your watch out the window. Before the trek, I read that most people make it to the top of Machu Picchu in about 45 to 60 minutes. It took me longer. When I focused on the time it was supposed to take, I was frustrated at myself for not being good enough or fast enough, but nobody cared how long it took me to get to the top, and I shouldn't have either. All that mattered was completing my journey. As you work on reaching your goals, stop looking at the clock. Stop looking at the calendar. Stop measuring yourself against someone or something else. It will only serve to distract you from focusing on what you need to do right now to advance. Small steps. next step, next goal. You know, talk to one more person, make one more sale. Number 5, throw your watch out the window. Number 6, stop looking for a way out. We're going back to that one, right? Not everyone goes to Machu Picchu hikes. You can take a bus straight to the top and save yourself the emotional and physical strain. Really? Do it. Early on in my climb, I thought about retreating or waving down one of the buses on their way up. When your pain is at the forefront, it is natural to want to make it go away. But when you invest time looking for a way to abort your journey, you are wasting precious energy that could be used to help you overcome momentary pain and discomfort for long-term growth. Momentary pain and discomfort for long-term growth. Are you struggling with what you're doing? Are you struggling with what you're trying to achieve? It's momentary. It's temporary. It's not from now to the end of time. Figure out what step you need to take to get over and or past that. Stop looking for a way out. Number 6. Last one, number 7, acknowledge your limitations. I had to be honest with myself. I was having trouble getting air and I couldn't keep the pace of the group. Pushing my body to the limit by trying to keep a faster pace wasn't going to go well for me. My path needed to be different, and that's okay. My path needed to be different, and that's okay. That's a good one. After implementing my new strategy, the journey was less grueling, but guess what? Progress was being made. Your road to success might not look like everyone else's. That's okay. Again, your road to success might not look like everyone else's, and that's okay. Everyone's situation is different. Instead, acknowledge where you are so you can give yourself what you need to be successful. As you work to achieve your goals, there will be obstacles, bumps, and bruises along the way. When the journey becomes more uncomfortable than what you are used to, it can be easy to throw in the towel and retreat, wave down that bus. But if you follow these lessons, you can find the strength to keep going in the midst of difficulty. And when you persist, you'll discover the reward was worth the effort. When you persist, you'll discover the reward was worth the effort. Don't give up. Persistence is key. Persistence is key. Okay, 7 ways to persist when everything in you wants to give up. Number 1, ignore everyone else. Number 2, become your own biggest supporter. Number 3, stop and appreciate the little things. Number 4, focus on the next step. Number 5, throw your watch out the window. Number 6, stop looking for a way out. And number 7, acknowledge your limitations. Great article by Sonia Thompson on success.com. The article is shared in the comments. Drop your comment if you like the video, share it. I'd appreciate it. Stop by our YouTube page once this is posted and subscribe there as well. We do one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, trying to enhance someone's life by talking motivation, inspiration, and, just giving people a different outlook on existing articles, giving them a different take on quotes, on articles, on advice, because not all advice is heard the same way by different people. Different people hear different voices, right? It's like, that person speaks to me, that person not so much. You know what I mean? So the more voices we have interpreting this type of content, the better we're off, because somebody's going to be helped. And that's what we're aiming for. Share the video, like it, subscribe to the YouTube page, get the message out there, get the information out there, and let's make the world a better place. Knowledge is power. Imagination is king. Intelligence your weapon. Read a good book today, enrich your mind, and above everything, take action. Take action. Even if it's little steps. Small steps, long vision. Small steps, long vision. Take action. Going to be back here again on Friday at 8 a.m. Hope to see you here. I appreciate your time. I thank you for watching, even if it's just for a little while. And until the next time, we'll be talking.